Welcome, friends. Thank you so much. And again, for joining us at another space of DEPORTEE'S Corner. Typically, this show would have been on Thursday at 7. However, yesterday was our daughter's birthday. So we ended up being with her. Today's topic is going to be one that we see very much in our offices. Again, my name is Juan Hidon Sanchez. I am the business manager at Noise and Associates. My wife, attorney Shernette Noyes, is the lead attorney here. We deal with all types of immigration cases. We also practice business law, bankruptcies, real estate, trust and estates. But our primary focus is immigration. We bring this space to you, Deportee's Corner, to share with you stories of immigrants who have been deported from their adopted country to their home country. This is an attempt for you to learn from their stories, their mistakes, so that the community can avoid making similar decisions as some of these folks have made. We're located in Stratford, Connecticut. If you have any questions, you could always give us a call at 203-572-6748. And again, the topic of today is going cheap can become expensive with notarios. So what do we mean by that? Public notaries or notarios are individuals who did not go to law school, do not have a law degree, are not licensed to practice law. They're not accredited by the Board of Immigration Appeals, but yet they put themselves out in the community as people who are qualified to do immigration work. It hurts, our hearts, and honestly, very frustrating to see when people come to our offices and they have been defrauded, in cases by thousands of dollars, by people who promise them an outcome that they are unable to deliver. So one of our first stories of the day from Deportee's Corner is regarding to an individual who filed a fake asylum case. A notario helped them file this asylum claim without providing any kind of evidence. And one important thing to know about a notario is that they will never sign an application that is submitted to immigration. They may sign as an interpreter, but they will never actually sign or receive the documents. They'll usually will fill out the paperwork and give it to the client for they themselves to mail it out. And this can be very, very concerning and frustrating. Now, with this individual in filing a fake asylum through the help of a notario, was eventually married to a U.S. citizen and then attempted to file again with this notario. It was very problematic, again, because he just wanted to save some money, right? His marriage and relationship were real, but because he had already committed fraud and it was discovered, he was barred from receiving any type of immigration benefit. It's very important, again, if you know any family, friends, neighbors, anyone who is being in this situation, that you share with them this video, that you have these conversations, because the immigrant community is very vulnerable, especially when it comes to being defrauded. One of the main things that we see from time to time that immigrants face is that when they come to America, they're immediately offered fake documents. They're offered a social security card, they're offered a work permit, they're offered a green card without having the valid basis of possessing those documents. Now, this can become very problematic because, as you can imagine, if a police officer detains you, or if you are submitting employment paperwork like an I-9, stating that you're legally qualified to marry when in fact you are committing identity theft by using someone's documents, this can be very problematic, okay? And it's even worse in the case when people state that they are United States citizens. It's a big no-no. So again, if you have an immigration case or any legal issue for that matter, and it's such an important investment and decision. I mean, you've came this far, you've sacrificed so much to be here. To ultimately find yourself in this situation can be very frustrating. Now, we have the phone ringings, as you can imagine. Again, we are here to help the community. We're open Monday through Saturdays from 9 a.m. up to 7 p.m. You can find us on Google, on Facebook, on YouTube. We're here and more than happy to, again, help the community. Um, we are here to help the community, to inform the community, and to make sure that they were not prey. Thank you. Now, and going back to the story again, if you commit fraud, you've submitted a document, false documents, or you have lied, this can come back to haunt you later on. Notarios, again, are people who are not qualified. You'll typically submit documentation without proper evidence. Another story is going to be of an individual who unfortunately used a notario and they did not file all of the necessary evidence. There was a request for evidence where immigration requested more information to be sent. And unfortunately, they did not inform the client of this, and the case was denied. This can be very frustrating because typically, you have to reapply again. When you go back to a notario and you try to, tell them, hey, my case didn't work out, they're quick to blame immigration. They will say it's not their fault. They did a good job and it was immigration's fault. And this is clearly untrue. They just don't want to assume the responsibility. And this is not to say that there aren't some notarios out there who get results, right? But typically when people are seeing a lot of results, like, people get work permits, travel documents, socials, and they're cheap, you have to question it. There's something wrong. You may be pre-approved in the initial part of your process, but as you get into an interview, the whole case falls apart. And this could all be avoidable. So remember, going cheap can become expensive with notarios. Now, again, if you are afraid of being deported, please get help. We here at Noise and Associates, our phone number is 866-88-66937. Again, we can help clients from all over the states, all over the world. So if you're in California, in Hawaii, in New York, in Florida, it doesn't matter where you are. It's very important that we share this information, that we as a community remain informed, and always ask questions. Always get a second, third, fourth opinion about your case. Immigration is such a sensitive and important topic that you should do so. You're within your right. The minute you see that someone is hesitated or unable to be clear in answering, your questions, you should run. You should just turn away and find someone else to help you. Okay. Now, we would love to hear your comments, questions, your stories, of how, unfortunately, notario fraud affects so many people, so many families, people who have been deported, people whose their case has been denied, and ultimately they're out of money. And because they didn't do a good job to begin with, they are barred for life. They're unable to adjust. They're unable to find that peace of mind of being able to, remain with their families through, again, trying to save money. When you go to an attorney, it tends to be expensive, but you have to remember that you're going to a professional. You're going to someone who knows what they're doing, who has experience, and who can walk you through the process. Now, this is not to say that there aren't some issues with attorneys as well, but there are more legal resources and recourse for you to make sure that attorney is compliant. No attorney wants to lose their license. No law office wants a bad reputation of doing a poor job. With these notarios, again, these are places where you can get taxes done. You can get life insurance, auto insurance, get DMV services, translations. You can send money. You can buy plane tickets. They're kind of a all-in-one. And then when they offer immigration, again, our community is vulnerable because a lot of these places are found in main streets, all the main streets of America. So whether it's in Florida, New York, Connecticut, these folks are everywhere. And immigrants tend to fall prey to, because the lack of information, the lack of knowledge, and unfortunately, because many times these people carry themselves out as attorneys when they are not. Now, we'll leave you with the following, which is from AILA, which is the American Immigration Lawyers Association. They are all about stopping notario fraud. There's help for victims out there. So if you family, friend, neighbor, anyone you know has been victimized by a notario, there is a way to get help. There's certain tips that you can get. Again, there's free resources of lawyers who are willing to help stop notario fraud. This website, for instance, is called Notario Fraud, stopnotariofraud.org. There's resources for victims needing help. So we can look at that section. Let's see what it says. Again, you are able to file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission, or even you can file a complaint against a lawyer in your local state bar. You can file a complaint against an immigration lawyer or representative. So again, remember, those individuals who are able to help you with immigration are either an immigration attorney or someone who is approved by the Board of Immigration Appeals. It's an accreditation process, okay, in which there's extensive training, rigorous, constant education to ensure, again, that you're getting the best help possible. The last or the worst thing that could happen to you is to put yourself in the hands of someone who is unqualified, unable to help you, and ultimately causes your case to fall apart. So please don't let that be you. Again, there's also other legal services organizations that you can seek advice from, as well as resources to find a lawyer near you. Okay. Now, there are certain tips for you to be able to avoid becoming a victim. Okay. So among those, we see, let's see ALA first. How you can protect yourself from scams. In this case, it's TPS, right? So only licensed lawyers and employees known as DOJ accredited representatives can work for immigration nonprofits to give you legal advice and represent you in a case. Anyone who's offering you legal help is not qualified to help you, okay? It's very important, again, as a community, that we become aware of these different types of scams that are going on and ultimately how much they harm the community. Because again, going cheap can become expensive with a notario. There's also other resources, for instance, with EOIR, okay, which is who can represent you in immigration proceedings, or if you are a victim of fraud, right? Certain information for you about what you can do. Okay, so you have to protect yourself because, again, only attorneys or accredited representatives for the Board of Immigration Appeal can help you. A notary or a notario público is not an attorney or representative, and they cannot provide you with legal advice or services on your immigration case unless they have been accredited by the BIA or works with an organization that is accredited by the BIA. So again, if this has been your case, please feel free to call a licensed attorney, a law office, seek help from a nonprofit. Make sure that you act fast to report this person, to file a complaint, and ultimately make sure that your rights are protected. Immigration is such an important issue, and it's such an important matter that you should put yourself in the hands of trusted professionals who have your best interests at heart, who are going to work diligently and professionally to make sure that you receive the help that you deserve. Okay? If you have any questions and concerns, again, please feel free to share this video. Again, my name is Juan Giron Sanchez, the business manager from Noise & Associates. We'll be more than happy to assist you in any legal issues that you may have. Feel free to call our offices, 203-572-6748. We're available for virtual appointments, and we can help you regardless of where you are. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week on the regular schedule. Thank you.